What is up, everybody? Alex from WMD here, back at you again, and this time we're going to be talking about Legion. Legion is our brand new analog oscillator. It's got through 0 FM, tons of waveform outs, and lots of really cool things. This is going to be an explanation video of all of the features. If you're looking for a sounds-only video, we've just posted one. Go and find that. I'll post a link somewhere here, maybe in the description below. And yeah, if you're looking for sounds, we've got a dope video showcasing lots of sounds. This is going to be lots of talking, lots of explanation, so you can understand all of the different features inside of Legion. So right now I've got a sine wave plugged into our Mordax data oscilloscope. That's just going straight into the mixer, and we can hear it. One of the great things about Legion is it's an analog oscillator, but we took a lot of influence from digital oscillators and digital modules, and we added a lot of features that we could do with a little bit of digital control. So here we go. We've got octave switches. That's pretty nice. We've got coarse and fine tune on this knob. So if the LED is dim there, we've got a little bit of a fine tune. And then if we push that button, we've got coarse, which just goes up by semitones. And then if we hold this button, I turned it as I held it, but now we've got tune lock, so nothing's gonna happen. You just click it one more time, it's out. So now I can hold this, and boom, we've got our tuning knob locked. So if I'm over here ripping the filter, and this is a little too close to that, and I accidentally hit it, oh no, nothing happens. That is awesome. Just click it once, it's out. You've got fine control and coarse control yet again. Legion also has an LFO mode. I'm going to use this module over here to showcase that. So we're going to plug Legion into the other Legion. We're going to go into linear FM, and we can hear we're going up and down, right? One of the cool things about this is that if I hit both these buttons at the same time, that's how you get in and out. So I hit them both at the same time. On release, it goes into whatever mode it's not on. So it toggles on release. So again, we've got, speed, frequency of the LFO here. Fine tune if we really want to get nerdy with it. But now we're in audio rate. I hit both these. Once I let go, we're back to wherever we were with the LFO. So the beautiful thing about that is that if you did want to switch, like mid-performance, from using one oscillator as an audio rate modulator or actually an audio source, and then you want it to go to an LFO, it saves the range that it was in for each mode. So if you're in audio rate mode and you go to LFO mode, you switch octaves and move around and find that mode. When you go back to audio rate mode, you're going to go to the same range you were in, and vice versa. If you go to audio rate and you're doing some audio rate modulation, you go up in octaves. If you hit those two buttons at the same time, you're going to go into LFO mode, and it will go to the LFO range that you had last set. So that's a really nice feature for recallability and things like that. So we've done sine wave. So now we're going to show some through 0 FM, and in order to do this, I'm just going to go back into audio rate mode, and I'm going to tune these to be relatively the same note. Cool, so that one's an octave up. Let's tune lock it for now. Let's tune lock both of them for now. Now I'm going to bring this guy into the linear FM input and listen to the timbre as I turn up the linear FM knob. So as you can hear, stays in tune really well with the FM, and now we're creating some really cool timbres just with the FM sounds. Now if you want to do traditional FM, you can go over into exponential, and now this is an attenuverter. So we go this way, and then we've got negative FM as well. So the through zero FM sounds really, really nice and stays in tune. So one of the things we can do with that is we can run a sequence maybe into both. So I'm just gonna grab a cable here. Run Volterra into both per octave inputs. And we'll just do like a really simple sequence here, and we'll just do like 16 steps. Let's make it a little faster there. So again, really nice timbres, pretty much, and stays in tune. So one of the best tricks with this is to put a VCA in between your modulation oscillator and your carrier oscillator. That's what we call the two oscillators. So they're basically, these are two exact same oscillators. We're just using one as a modulator, so and then we're using one as a carrier. The carrier is the one on the right here. That's the one we're listening to. And then the one on the left, that's our modulator. So that's the one that's modulating the carrier, creating these timbres. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna send some gates from Metron into Javelin. Javelin's got an envelope tied to this VCA. Why don't we just turn them all on for now? So now this timbre change is only happening, it's happening in rhythm with our VCA. So we'll clear this out, and then we'll do some longer gates so you can really hear the timbre kind of sounds here. So yeah, in my other video I did get a little bit carried away with just making raunchy tones, but you can do really nice subtle stuff here, right? Just nice little drones. But you can also get pretty gnarly if you want to. Alright, so that's just the sine wave. One of the really cool things about Legion is that this through zero FM concept works with all of the outputs. So I'm not going to go into depth on what through zero FM means. You can Google that phrase and check that out on your own time. But basically the gist of it is it's FM that stays in tune. That's what I'm going to say right now. All right, so we're going to listen to the triangle wave now. And we'll turn up the FM. And you can hear right away, just that little peak on the triangle gives us a little bit more of a buzz. If we take this, the modular oscillator and bring it out of tune a little bit, maybe do a different interval. Is fun. Now let's listen to the saw wave, and I'll show you all the cool saw wave waveforms we have. So right now I'm going to bring this down a little bit, and you can see we've just got a normal saw wave on our oscilloscope here. One of the cool things here is if I hit this Windows switch, we've got the up and down switch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the left one, and that's going to bring me to this saw wave. So it's a normal saw wave with a pulse in the middle. So now as I tap these buttons, if I tap up, we're adding these windows in here. You can see them there. And we can pulse width modulate those. So this kind of creates a cool timbre on top. If we hold the right side, it goes to a saw wave with an inversion in the middle instead, which has a little bit of a different timbre. So you can see it a little bit better there. And if I turn up the windows, kind of creates this cool triangle wave. Now, of course, this does work with through 0 FM. Take some of the windows down. Let's switch to the saw wave window with windows. Pretty cool. All right, so now what we're gonna do is go to the swarm output. Swarm is basically an analog supersaw. And so we have this button here for swarm timbre. And now you can see that basically we've got a bunch of saw waves stacked on top of each other. And then with the detune knob, we're controlling the speed of the LFOs that are animating these going back and forth, which basically simulates detune. Now if we add more waves on top with this button here with saw wave timbre, we can make that effect more intense. This starts to sound really good in higher registers. So if you just want a little bit of animation on your waveform. And again, through 0 FM. So I'm gonna take out the VCA here from in between so we can just hear the knob. So there's no through 0 FM. And there's a bunch. Changing the octaves of the modulator. So super fun, really gets gnarly really quick. So yeah, Swarm through 0 FM, that is rad. So the next output we're gonna show is the sub output. And this is a very simple sub oscillator. Very similar to what you would hear on every other style of oscillator, right? So we can switch between 1 and 2 octaves here. With this button, you just tap it to switch between the octaves. We'll go up a couple octaves so you can hear the difference. Now if we hold it, we can switch waveforms. So we've got the saw wave. Or this is the... Sorry, I'm not looking at it. So now we have the saw wave. If we hold it, we can go to a square wave with pulse width modulation. Pretty nice. And then if we hold it one more time, we go to a triangle wave. All of these work with through 0 FM, by the way, but the triangle sounds really nice. And now if we hold this, we basically have a, if all 3 of these LEDs are active, we now have a pulse width modulated square wave. So we basically have a pulse wave that's being modulated by the LFO, by one of the LFOs that is controlling the swarm timbre. So now you have another option in that sub frequency. I personally love the triangle. This is the first that I know of a triangle wave on the sub. You can hear there's a little bit of a buzz there, so it has a little bit of a pulse on the top, but it does sound really nice. And my oscilloscope's not really fast enough to catch that. It's also not syncing the best right now, but that's all good. But again, through 0 FM on the sub oscillator. So if you've got these stacked up, like let's say we want to hear the triangle or let's do the triangle wave on top. Right? We've got both of those. Now we do through a 0 FM. And they're FMing together. Let's listen to the swarm on top. So yeah, super cool. Nice feature there. All right, so now we're going to check out the sync features of Legion. Man, that's hard to say. Sync features of Legion. And basically what sync is you take one oscillator and you sync it to another oscillator, which means the oscillator you're listening to, that waveform is going to be reset at the rate of the other oscillator. So just to show you what I mean, we're going to use the triangle wave. We're going to run that into our data here. And then we're going to just listen to it. And then now we're going to take our second Legion. We're going to run the pulse wave into the sync input. And before we do that, let's listen to the output. We've got it at a lower rate right now, right? So that's a pretty good thing to do, is have your modulator oscillator be at a lower frequency than your carrier. Run that into the sync input. Now you can hear that we've basically taken over the pitch that we're listening to with this one. And you can see that we have on data that we have some hard edges now instead of the triangle, and you can really hear those hard edges. So the cool part now is when you change the pitch of your carrier oscillator, it stays in tune of the modulator, but then gives you some really cool timbral differences. So when I put an LFO into the exponential FM, you can hear these wow kind of filterish kind of sounds. So now what we'll do is we'll change the volt per octave of our modulator oscillator, or we'll, modulate the pitch. And now we're going to send that exact same sequence. I've copied them to the same channels, or to different channels, to the carrier. So this is a cool way to get different timbral differences. Turning up the FM amount. And now if you change the octave ranges of either module, you're going to get different sounds. So if we go back to just the regular sound here, take the volt per octave out. So right now, I believe we've got hard sync on. We can switch by holding swarm timbre and then the octave buttons. And we've got a hard and a soft style sync. So those are going to give you different styles of sync sound. So I'm going to put this LFO back in here. And then let's switch back to the other side. So on the left side, we have the hard sync, and on the right side, we have the soft sync. All right, so that is Legion. Hope it gives you some ideas on the features and functions and how you might use it in your own rig. Yeah, we've got 600 of these. We've got a few left, so make sure to put in your order. Because like I've said before in previous videos, once these are gone, they are unfortunately gone. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, thank you for the support. Definitely like and subscribe to this channel, because we'll be putting out some more content. Yeah, we will see you all soon. Peace.